Hi everyone, welcome to the program review for February. I'm Filippo. So due to the outbreak of coronavirus in Asia, so many international Go tournaments including the In Cup and Chunnan Cup are now cancelled. But luckily we still get some domestic cups in Japan and Korea, and we are fortunate to have two of the best players in Korea playing the game for us, which is Kim Ji-Seok and Park Junghwan. So without further ado, let's go into the game. So for this game, Kim Ji-Seok is black and Park Junghwan is white. Black first plays the small eye and start point. Rotating 3-4 point and 2 start points. So Black 5 defends a corner with a 2-space jump. This is a normal move or the ordinary move nowadays, especially when AI is released. That's the popular move to defend the corner. And then white plays the 1-space high approach. To respond this, we used to have a lot of josekis, including attach from the top, attach from the bottom, pincers, and then jump and nice move. But after I released, many of those 3-4 point joseki for the high approach is abandoned, and most of the time black will play the low attach. That's simple and territorial, and that's the best for the black. White honey, black pull back, white connect, black jump, white plays extension. So this is a classic and still using joseki in many occasions. Black plays the 3-3 invasion. It's hard nowadays for us to find that a game without playing this 3-3 invasion. It's almost certain that if you play the start point, you get to prepare by the 3-3 invasion played by your opponent. In this case, white chooses an easy joseki. By taking the corner. So this joseki is very simple, and once again, white gets the territory and allows black to tenuki. So is this good or bad? There's no certain answers, but if white chooses this, means that white wants to play a simple game and lead this game to the end game. We know that for white, Park Junghwan is a player with a very strong end game ability. Instead, Kim Ji-Seok is very strong in fighting and not as good as Park Junghwan in endgame. So maybe Park Junghwan's strategy is to lead this game to the endgame so that he can win this game. And then of course, black needs to do something about this empty corner, and then black chooses to approach on this side. Because after finishing this joseki, this push is very big. After this push, the left side will be the influence of black. So black wants to have some stones here so that this push becomes, to add some value to this push. White plays the Kusumi. Once believed to be a bad move, but nowadays very common. But as we can see, the direction of this jump is actually not very good, because this third line jump is actually very solid for black. So actually white doesn't have much development or influence there. So although this is a very common joseki nowadays, I still believe that probably white should have some more or better way of playing locally. So now black push. And then white plays the extension. As we say, because of the support of two stones, black cannot push. And then white extension is also a big move. So I guess these two moves are kind of mad. So if black plays here, extends here, white can go play this knight move. If black chooses to play this, of course white will not honey to help black making territory. White will get this side. And then black plays the second knight placement, which is a nice testing move. Black, if white attach, black will honey. White honey, black Atari. And then make the connection. So in this case, white is not locally bad. But after this exchange, we see that this extension becomes less efficient. So with the help of this stone, white doesn't want black to play this to get the territory that comfortably. So white will block. Black jump, white attach. When black honey, white wedge in. So this is a sequence. If white wedge first, black will tarry. Black will not exchange this move, which is kind of help white. Yeah, on the other hand, if black Atari now, white will counter Atari. Black cannot connect now, because if black connect, white will connect, and then this becomes a very solid territory. So black must capture. White Atari. Sorry. Black connect, and then white block a bridge. Black jumps out. This will lead to a fight, and black is not very comfortable about this, because when white push and block, black is very hard to live locally because of this double honey. If black is forced down here, it will hurt the top right corner, and it's not very good for black. So black needs to do something else, which leads to a very clever sabaki move. At this point, black wants to reserve the possibility of Atari from Atari outside. Though now it's not workable, because if your Atari now, white can extend. If you Atari, I'll still counter Atari. If you connect, I'll connect. And then I'll probably play somewhere here. So in this case, although you get this very connected 5 stones and seems to cut me into 2 halves, but white gets solid side territory, and this 5 stones is actually very heavy. So this result is not good for black. So white wants to benefit something before making this. So black attached here. White honey is almost a must move, and then black cut. So when we see this kind of cut, the usual response for us is try to extend somehow, either here, here, here. I mean, this connect is of course not the best move, because black can just Atari and extend. White has to capture this instantly, and we can see that without spending extra move, black strengthens the top right corner a lot. So black would have to if white extends this way, then this Atari becomes a very good RG for black. So black can do something now. Black needs to exchange this first. Atari first, and then Atari. White cannot play this side because it will allow black to fully disconnect these two groups. So white has to respond this side. And when you play this, we can see that this move helps. So black can now Atari and capture. So white can no longer prevent black from Atari back. So white would need to approach this side or Atari from here, allowing black to capture, and then white will need to extend. So in Sente, black gets this territory and cuts this 4. So actually, black is very good in this situation. If you extend this way, this Atari is still there. It doesn't help. So what if, let's say, Atari here? Black will not simply counter Atari, black will extend. If you block, then I get this Atari instantly and extend back. Although I'm a goated, later on this clamp and other things are very big, and the territory in the corner is also very big. It's the benefit, black gets benefit of more than spending a move. So in this case, white is no good. White needs to Atari again and connect. But once again, with the help of this stone, black gets a loop net kind of here. So it's very hard for white to play on inner corner, maybe. The more you play, actually, the more solid black is. So although once again black is goated, but later on the RG is still here and black solidifies the top right corner and gets some stones in the center. So black is actually very good. So what can white do? The only thing white can do is to Atari from the bottom side. And the meaning of this is that if black push, white will counter Atari. Though you can break out, this is a light stone and extend. So in this case, although black seems to destroy it, breaks out, but the side territory of white is still there, and black is no longer very solid in this case. On the other hand, this 6 becomes a burden of black. So black cannot play this. What black wants to do is try to make connection between the two, the top side and bottom side. So black now Atari here. The sequence is Atari. So if you connect, white will connect. So there are 2 cutting points you cannot save. So black needs to capture white Atari. And then black Atari here. So as we conclude it from here, black disconnects white from the center, which is definitely not a bad result. But in exchange, white captures these 2 stones, which is also very big. So actually, this is an acceptable fight for both players. And next, this is a very big move that white wants to play. But if white play here, black may choose to push out and attack this group from as a whole. So if white play here, it's very aggressive, but it's also risky. So we know that Park Junghwan is a player that often plays safe moves. So instead, white plays this Kasumi. If black responds, and then this stone is less active. With the help of this, white can easily get out when black push. So now white can go here. Of course, black will not allow white to achieve this purpose. So black starts the call. If black dismisses the call this way, this cutting point is automatically dismissed. So white cannot lose this call very easily. White captures, and this is a very comfortable call threat for black. White push, black block. So in this case, black doesn't have any real call threat anymore, because even if you extend here, white may tarry. And after this Atari, even if you capture the top corner, this corner is dying also. And if this corner dies, this thing automatically dies too. So black cannot afford this. So black Atari from the bottom. And then white cuts. Black connects. So it seems that black is not very comfortable at the beginning, but because the ladder doesn't work for white, so white needs to play this move. So in this case, white is not as good as the first glance too. So maybe later on black can Atari or choose to push and capture this stone. So from a territory view, black is not losing a lot in this case. So actually this is workable. Next move, very big. So after this group of stones, we can see that is not actually surrounding. If black has one more move here, white will not be locally alive. But white is not going to exchange this for leaving too, because it does not only reduce the liberty of this 4 stones, it also losing a lot of points. White will in the future, white will want to connect here and make these cutting points. So if black is forced to place these cutting points, black is losing a lot of points. So white doesn't want to play either these 2 moves now. So what white do is white try to consume it, but that's actually a slow move. So if I'm black, I will probably Atari here, but I'm of course not as good as Park Junghwan. But in this case, this is actually very slow because it's not actually having any purposes. So black is fully alive. This one is not going to die immediately. So in this case, what white should do is really try to get more territory, and then try to, let's say, put more pressure on black. Before that, they made this exchange. And what's big now, of course, this is very big. And then invade here. That's all big moves. If black will try to attack, then white can easily get out. If black try to push and block, then white can leave locally. So it's not urgent for white to play here. Of course, black doesn't want white to get this Atari and close black in. So black bends. Because this bend actually makes this incentive, white now still needs to respond. And still white doesn't want to exchange this because that's actually lose point. So white plays another jump. Now we can see that this is a worst case because at any time, black can use this 2 centi to achieve whatever he wants. And what white adds these 2 stones doesn't have any really big intrinsic values because that's not the direction of having influence. So rather than having this, I will probably play somewhere else instead of, for example, Atari and Tiger Mouse is probably better than this Kosumi. And now black tanuki. Approach. So at this point, the opening ends. So as we conclude this fight, so of course, in the very beginning, both players plays Joseki, and it's about a 5-5 even game, let's say. And then after that, black plays the second line placement to start a fight. And then after white wedges and attach, black plays this attachment to start an unusual, let's say, local fight. But after the trade, I guess that's an even game. But when white plays this 2 move, I guess black is leading a bit. But as we know nowadays, actually when we say leading in the programs, it's actually very small margin. So white still have lots of chances, and let's see what will happen next. So we stop at here when black plays this approach to the corner, and then the next move is this Kasumi. Once again, that's very Park Junghwan style. So normally most Korean players are territorial, and they will play somewhere, for example this or this, to secure the corner and then drive white black out. In this case, this pincer is not very good because black has still Atari and this side is not very big. This Kasumi is really trying to put more stones on in the center and try to invade later on. But as a return, black plays this nice move in center and plays this second extension to settle easily. White Atari, that's also very big and solid. Black Kasumi is not a good testing move. If white connects here, this placement and honey is a very good follow-up for black. So in order to prevent black having this, white plays here. But this makes the shape of white really bad too, because the next move black plays here. Again, if you tanuki, these are center for black, and then black cannot push and cut. Because of the liberty issue, black can no longer break out, and if black allows, white allows black to get this outside influence very solidly, then this whole set of fight is gone. However, white does not want to protect like this very silly, because it really makes this kind of stones inefficient. So white wants to protect this weakness as efficient as possible. So how do we do it? We descend. Because the head is out, white is not afraid of this push and cut, because if you black push and cut, black creates a weakness of himself. So they both leave it there, and then black plays this to secure the territory. And white Atari, connect. So now we can do a positional judgment. So the top corner is about 10 points, 15. This is about 10 points, so 25, and 35. So white has roughly 35 points. So for black, the top territory is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 34. So at least 34 points. So black has 35 points, white has 35 points. We didn't count this, and we didn't count the influence of black here. So I definitely believe that this plus is more than the komi that black needs. So actually white is significantly behind now, and white needs to do something about it. So what white can do? White attach. Try to attack here. Like honey. If white cuts now, black can just Atari, maybe Atari here or Atari here. It doesn't matter. And then counter Atari. When you connect, black can play this double tiger mouse. You need to go back and then black disconnect. In this case, although you take some points here, but black disconnects and become very solid as a whole group. So of course white reads that. So white extends back, and then black plays this. And then white plays this invasion. White cannot allow these three stones to settle easily. Otherwise, there's an issue for white to get enough territory in this case. Remember, we get 35 points for black without counting this. So now black has very solid 5 points here. So black needs still have some influence here. So white really needs to get something by attacking this. So when white invades here, of course black needs to escape. There are two ways to escape. One is to escape from the bottom, and one is to escape on the top. But of course with the help of this second night stone, it's not very workable for black to live down there. So black plays a capping move. And then white Kasumi. Yeah, Kasumi again. So it's relatively a safe shape or connection for black here. But really white wants to try to get something here. So white Kasumi, black connect, and white wedge. So of course, white increases its territory for more than 10 points here. But as exchange, black can always target and disconnect white. So it's hard to say that it's worthy for white to disconnect these two stones. But next, black jumps here. Of course, black doesn't want to Atari and connect now, because there is no value here, and white can always get this center and connect here. This move actually helps to expand the central points. So black wants to jump out here, forcing white to make extra move on this side. Black Kasumi, white Kasumi. Black extend, white now cut, and wedge. Now black cannot Atari, because if you Atari, I will counter Atari, and I will get this Atari instantly. So black captures, and then white connects. So when we judge this trade, black now settles on the side solidly, but white cuts these two stones. So definitely this result is good for white. So this move, extend, is actually a mistake played by black. Instead of here, what can black do? So of course this is very solid connection, but that is also very slow. When white plays this Kasumi and Atari and then Kasumi again. This whole group is not fully alive. So the correct move now for black is try to play here. So by adding one more stone here, black dismisses the danger of this card. So I can no longer wedge in because I can always Atari and double Atari. So if white honey from here, black can extend inside the territory. And with the help of this stone, this connection is over very safe. So Unfortunately, black plays this move and allows white to disconnect it. And then after white connects, black bends. So that's the end of today's pro game review. Of course, after black's bend, there's a lot of things going on board, and the game is not fully over yet. Although black suffers a loss by being disconnected, black is still ahead actually because of the territorial lead earlier on. However, with some close fight in the center and in the corner here, Park Junghwan is able to turn this game back, but unfortunately he made another mistake in the end game. So in the end, Kim Ji-Seok wins this game. Okay, so thank you for watching today's pro game review and Filippo. If you like us, please subscribe us and follow us on our social media. And thank you, bye.